So, good afternoon and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. We're going to speak about Mikel Arteta being told by the hierarchy that he may have to sell Aubameyang and Lacazette. Before I get into that, we're going to speak about Arteta anyway. He's taken training today. His first training session as Arsenal official manager. And yeah, the training pictures are out. Anybody who hasn't seen them, go onto Arsenal Twitter account. They're plastered all over that. It looks like it's a high energy training session. And you know, the one thing I will say here is I like the fact that he's got him into training the day after we had a game. Obviously, that game was probably the most boring game of 2019. And we've had some bore fest, but that was absolutely boring. To the point where I don't think me and Chig really bothered watching the rest of it. it got to the point where it was better just to talk about what we're up to and what you guys were doing in the comment section rather than watch the game. It was last on Match of the Day last night, and I think they highlighted one shot on goal, which was then blocked. Oh, and the VAR decision when I think it was Joe Willock handballed it. We got away with that, if I'm being honest. That could have been easily given as a penalty, but yeah, Mikel Arteta is in training. We've got a game on Boxing Day. I will be doing a watch along with Chig for that. We've got a game against Bournemouth. They lost yesterday in stoppage time to Burnley. It's not going to be an easy game though. Listen, Bournemouth are a decent team. They play half decent football and they've got players that can scare the life out of our defence. Although saying that, Santa Claus could scare the life out of our defence right now. We're that bad. Yesterday was the first time I've actually seen us defend properly in a game for as long as I can remember. But like I said, I am going to be doing a watch along for that game. Mikel Arteta is in training as we speak and as I record this video. And like I said, it does look like he's getting down to work. All the players are engaged. They're listening to what he's saying, or it looks like that from the pictures. They're all staring at him rather than staring at the ground like they were doing under Unai Emery. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to the two players I want to speak about, Lacazette and Aubameyang. They're two of our most expensive signings. Aubameyang's come in. He's the fastest for Arsenal in the Premier League to 50 goals. 7th fastest in our history to 50 goals in the league. Now, what I will say here is that I've seen a lot of people dig me out and dig Chig out and dig other people out that say that when Aubameyang doesn't do anything, when Aubameyang doesn't score, he doesn't do anything. Now, I think more and more people are starting to realise that that is actually the case. Now, yes, he scores a hatful of goals, but when the goals dry up, which they have done in recent weeks, what does he actually contribute to the team? Now, the amount of people that say to me, and listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, that's what makes football so great. But when people say to me, oh, if you take his goals out of Arsenal, we'd be bottom of the table. Yes, if you wasn't putting another player in his position, of course, we would be bottom of the table. If you're putting another striker in his position, you'd imagine that that striker would score goals, which therefore wouldn't mean we would be bottom of the table. Now, I want a striker at the club that's going to work rate of Martinelli, do that dirty side of the game, run around, get the ball back, high tempo, high energy, link the play, bomb forward and chip in with goals. When you look at Sergio Aguero, or even Harry Kane, both of them score there or thereabouts the same amount of goals as Aubameyang, but their work rate is 100 times better off the ball. Now, we all remember when Pep Guardiola took over at Man City, he called out Aguero, who, by the way, I think was at that point already their all-time top goal scorer. If not, he was very close. And he called him out and said, you need to do more off the ball. The next couple of games he played in, he didn't do anything off the ball. So Pep Guardiola dropped him for Gabriel Jesus. He was then sat on the bench, sulking, looking upset. The cameras were panned in on him on Sky and BT. But then Sergio Aguero, being the elite striker that he is, rolled his sleeves up and said, no, I am the best striker at this football club and I'm going to prove a point to you. Now when you watch Man City play and Aguero up front, his work rate is a joke. It is ridiculous how much ground that guy covers. Then he scores the goals to go with it. He's now the complete striker. He scores, he sets up goals, he's got the work rate. When you look at Harry Kane, I know he plays for that lot and I don't really want to give them any praise. But when you look at Harry Kane, the guy scores a hatful of goals all the time, every season, but his work rate is unbelievable. Now compare that to Aubameyang, and I'm going to highlight the last two games because they're the most recent. Saturday when he played. What day are we on? It is Sunday, isn't it? Yeah, so yesterday when he played against Everton, what did he do? Did he actually cover any ground? I'd imagine that Martinelli has covered more ground yesterday in the game against Everton than Aubameyang has covered in the last 2 to 3 games. That is how poor he's been against West Ham. Man City. Sorry, the two centre backs when they're popping the ball between them for City. Aubameyang's 10 yards off of them in the centre circle, just going side to side every time they're passing the ball between each other. How about press him? How about go as a free with Martinelli and Pepe? All three of you press, because then you force mistakes. He don't do that. Now, all the time he's scoring goals, cool. You can give him a pass, you can give him a bly on that, cool. But when he's not scoring goals, fully dig him out, because it ain't acceptable for a £60 million striker to be doing that. Now, the board are saying, apparently to Mikel Arteta, well, we might have to sell him. Well, I'd sell him now. I'd sell him in January. As soon as that window opens in a week or two, I would fully sell him. It's about, 10 days until the transfer window opens? Sell him. If that's a straight swap for Jovic and a few quid, do it. Because we don't play with this high-tempo, fast-pressing, attacking style of football. We might do under Mikel Arteta. That remains to be seen. But his work rate's not there. And as good as he's been going forward in terms of scoring goals, without the ball, he's anonymous. And we can't afford players that are anonymous without the ball. So for me, I'd sell him. I'd do the swap with Jovic. I'd maybe sell him and maybe buy Timo Werner. He's a decent player. His work rate's decent and he scores goals. Yes, maybe not as many as Aubameyang. But for the good of the team going forward, maybe one guy scoring all the goals isn't the answer. Maybe split that around the team. As for Lacazette, let's move on to Lacazette. Now, Lacazette was millimetres away from signing for Atletico Madrid before he signed for Arsenal. They then got a transfer ban, so we was his only other option. Again, £50-odd million on this guy. And this season, he looks so disinterested, it is a joke. I don't know what's happened to him. He's not been getting games in recent weeks. He's sat on the bench. He looks like he's got the raging ump. And he don't look like he wants to be here. Does he want to go to Atletico? I don't know. Is he going to leave? I'd say so. Maybe not in January, maybe the summer. But at some point in the next 6 to 8 months, that guy will not be at this football club. I am convinced of that. And again, the guy scores goals in big games. So why hasn't he been playing in the big games? Why didn't he play against Man City the other day? I don't understand that decision. Yes, he's been poor, but he's scored, 3-4 goals in the last 7 games? Which isn't bad, considering he don't look like he wants it. But if you take it over the whole season this season, the guy just looks so far off the boil. It looks like he wants out. And when you read the reports of certain players in the dressing room saying that if Arteta comes in, they want out, I guarantee you now he is one of them. I will be shocked if he isn't one of them, because his whole body language, his facial expressions, the way he's walking around on the pitch, he's not that Lacazette that we see last season or the season before. The high energy, high tempo, winning headers, tracking back, getting the fans on board, getting the fans up when he's being substituted. That Lacazette is not here anymore. We have got the shadow version of Lacazette. Now, I think that he will go, like I said. I don't think he's as good as Aubameyang in terms of goal scoring, although I do think overall he is a better footballer. But I'd be open to selling the pair of them. If you add up how much money we could get for the pair of them, and as stupid as it sounds, because people are going to be watching this video going, but you've sold our 2 strikers. Yeah, well, if we swap Jovic for Aubameyang, vice versa, then we've got another striker in. You could then move Martinelli to striker and sell Lacazette. Lacazette money would then buy a proper centre-back to partner Saliba, who's coming in the summer, or we could then get rid of Granit Xhaka as well and then put all of the money together to go and buy a proper midfielder. So as stupid as it sounds, if you're getting a Jovic in or a Timo Werner and you're putting Martinelli in that position as well, you've still got 2 decent strikers there, but you've plugged a position that needs filling ASAP, i.e. centre-back or midfield. So for the good of the team going forward, it's not as stupid as it sounds. Some people won't see it like that. They'll just say, oh my God, because that's how they see it. Oh my God, you're selling the 2 best players. Well, they're not our best players. Let's have it right. Aubameyang's our best goal scorer. He's not our best player. Lacazette is a better player, but on current form, i.e. the last 20, 30 games that he's played, he's nowhere near our best player. Our best player on current form right now, in my opinion, is an 18-year-old called Gabriel Martinelli. And that is kind of worrying. So for me, I would sell the pair. It's just my opinion on it. Leave yours down below in the comments section. Let me know who you'd replace them 2 with. Would you go and buy a midfielder with the Lacazette money? And would you swap Aubameyang for Jovic or Werner? I don't know. Leave it in the comments section. But like I said, for the for the good of the team going forward, one guy scoring all the goals is not the answer. We need better than that. But there we go. There's the daily transfer update. I will be back later on at 5 o'clock doing a live stream. I'm going to go through 5 things. I could do 505, but 5 things that Mikel Arteta needs to fix ASAP. So come join me at 5 o'clock and check that out. Until then, laters, peeps.